liberty, democracy, justice. They're in your hands now. General Fresh, over and out.
Helldivers 2 is a special game. It's not just that the graphics are nice and the gameplay is fun. Helldivers has done something really special, something that I haven't really seen in a game before. It's cultivated an incredible sense of community, just really unlike anything else. It's really broken out of the gaming bubble in a way that a lot of games haven't really been able to do before. Players are making galactic situation reports, role-playing as a soldier stranded on Malevelon Creek, fighting the good fight. And it's no accident, someone at Arrowhead Studios is a genius. And this is all by design. First of all, there's no PvP. So right from the get-go, there are no mouth breathers crying about weapon balancing or MMR making them get run through by sweaties, or anyone really complaining about losing at all. Because losing in Helldivers feels just as fun as winning sometimes. The other night, me and a buddy were on a Rata Prime trying to take down a Bile Titan, and we succeeded, but right before we could make it back to our evac ship, we fell. A moment of silence for those Helldivers forgotten in the sands of Errata Prime. But the thrill of having succeeded in our mission, but just barely falling short of making it off the planet, was still exciting and fun in that moment. Of course, there's also 9 difficulty options ranging from trivial to Helldive, so you can find the perfect challenge for you and your teammates' skill level. So okay, there's no PvP. All of the players are working together towards a common goal in a big way. And this is all thanks to the game's galactic scale war system. If you don't really know how the game works, basically every single mission you run contributes to the ongoing liberation of the planet you're fighting on. Every objective counts, and eventually with tens of thousands of players working in tandem, entire planets and sectors can be taken, pushing ever deeper into the enemy faction's territory. Think of it kind of like playing a prolonged game of Battlefront 2 Galactic Conquest, but with hundreds of thousands of other people helping. To help with the sense of scale, when you're in orbit of a planet, you can see hundreds of other players' cruisers around you. Another small way they built on this sense of community is the drop-in co-op. Anyone can drop into your mission up to a team of 4 and help out. And if you're having a lot of trouble, you can even throw down an SOS beacon to mark your mission as urgent for player aid. People are helping each other out there. The last factor contributing to this amazing sense of community that I want to talk about is the satirical, tongue-in-cheek writing of humanity in Helldivers. It's essentially the Imperium of Man from Warhammer, a xenophobic fascist empire, but it's also like a self-aware parody of that. It allows for players to wholeheartedly support Super Earth and lay down their lives for what is essentially a fascist empire, without feeling any sort of guilt, because it's steeped in enough self-aware irony that the game doesn't really take itself seriously, so neither should you, in that sense. Even the intro cinematic is a PSA, not a public service announcement, a patriotic service announcement, for which deviation in attention is considered treason. The game and its marketing are essentially just propaganda videos. But for as amazing as this game is, and it really is amazing, and as strong as its community is Super Earth doomed? Is Helldivers 2 doomed? Will it come to an end much sooner than we expect? Because you know what else was an amazing game? Palworld, and before that Lethal Company, and before that Baldur's Gate 3, and before that Elden Ring. I mean, does anyone even remember Elden Ring? That game is ancient. It came out all the way less than 2 years ago. See, there's a problem happening in gaming right now that is twofold. First is what I call the death of the middle class of gaming. This does mostly affect PvP games, but it does play a role here. See, in the old days, gamers were more casual as a whole. See, I made a handy pie chart here. You got your brain-dead bots who have never really touched a controller again, your average Joe gamer, and yeah, there's always been some MLG esports sweats kicking around. But due to our hyper-competitive culture and more people aspiring to play games competitively as a career via content creation, the average skill of players has gone up, and the percentage of people playing casually has diminished. So as a baseline, you have less medium-skilled players. This is why games feel so sweaty nowadays. Combine this with the fact that most game devs are leaning into this and building their games to be more competitive by design. The second problem is the reduced attention span that has come about from entertainment getting faster and faster pace, like how Disney is pumping out Star Wars and Marvel content at breakneck speeds. Every few months there's a new Amazon or Netflix original series that takes off, and the same is happening with gaming. Games' lifespans are getting shorter and shorter as new games are releasing and getting popular faster and faster. And that middle class of gamer is more than happy to jump ship and go to the next big thing as soon as it shows up. This usually leaves a PvP game with mostly either sweats or bots playing, which is also one of the reasons that in games that have ranked modes, it's much easier to get to a higher rank when the game is new and lots of people are playing. Rather, I should say that the more people playing a game, the easier it will be to climb a ranked ladder. Trying to be Masters level in Overwatch, for example, is currently infinitely harder than it would have been 6 years ago. All that being said, is Helldivers 2 with its ironclad community doomed to fall before the year's end? Will the game see 2025 in a popular state, or will a new game come out of the ether and take its mantle and pull player attention away? Is Super Earth doomed to fall to the Terminids and Automatons much sooner than we'd expect? A silver lining to this is that if gaming continues on this trend of shorter lifespans of games, then we may eventually see a migration away from the live service microtransaction model that has been plaguing gaming since Fortnite. And we might see more games like Helldivers 2 that have an upfront cost again, and then are able to justify much more reasonable microtransactions, rather than the predatory microtransactions that are rampant right now. The other night, me and a buddy were running a mission on Errata Prime to take out a Bile Titan, and we took it out. Oh shit. The other night, me and a buddy were on Errata Prime trying to take down a Bile Titan, and we succeeded, but in the last moments trying to get to our fuck. The other night, me and Jesus. The other night, me and a buddy were on Errata Prime trying to take down a Bile Titan, and we succeeded, but in those last moments trying to get back to our evac ship, we fell. A moment of silence for those Helldivers on a... Fuck. The other night, me and a buddy were on Errata Prime trying to take down a Bile Titan, and we succeeded, but right before we could make it back to our evap